Hey, it's Karina Reichman, and you are listening to Comes a Time with Oteil Burbridge and Mike Fenoya. If you're digging the podcast, do these guys a favor and review and subscribe. It means a lot. Be sure to follow the pod on social media, YouTube, and if you're joining for bonus episodes and exclusive content, go to patreon.com/comesatimepod and get on the bus. And now, here's Mike and Oteil.
What's up, everybody? That's Mike.
And that's Oteil, and we are live at the Sirius XM studios here at the Wynn in Las Vegas for the Grateful Dead channel and Comes the Time podcast. What a gorgeous spot.
Yeah, this is not our usual.
And this is our first ever together podcast where we're in the same room, but no audience. We're hitting a lot of firsts in Vegas.
I know, which is cool. I mean, Vegas, for me, like, what a trip this whole thing has been, you know.
What a very long, strange trip.
Yeah, it's been a short, strange trip, but it's getting longer.
Yeah, no.
This is so cool. It looks great. I can't wait to show my wife the pictures of how official we look.
Extremely professional. I feel underdressed. And you know what's cool is whatever is next will be right there too. So when the UFC show is in here, bang, that's what it's going to look like. So, but no, big shout out to everybody at Sirius XM and the Wynn and everyone helping to make this happen. And it's like so cool. We're on a day off. We're on Wednesday. Yeah. So tomorrow, all the buses start rolling in with the heads for the, you know.
Oh yeah.
So.
I bet some are coming into today. I'm going to go down to Dead Forever. I don't think Shakedown opens till tomorrow.
Shakedown's tomorrow. Is Dead Forever open today? Is it open every day?
I'm not sure, but we're going to find out here.
I'm going to go too. Yeah, absolutely. We may just be at the Palazzo, but yeah, it's on and it's happening and it's so great. I've been here doing stand-up at the Cellar. You came to see me on Monday.
Man, that was so funny. I had the best time. It's great seeing you in action. It's been a while.
It has.
And it's funny because, you know, Vegas is Vegas, so you never know what kind of crowd you're going to get. And it wasn't the best crowd. You just went out there. It's like, it just reminds, we hang out so much, I forget what a pro you are. Like I was reminded also when we did the live one with the audience, because the way you were dealing those aces out of the deck, just the one-liners with the audience, really, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. He is a pro, Oteil, you know? But it was so great at the Comedy Cellar. So you guys should come out and check it out. It's a really good time.
Thank you. And it's hilarious that you came to the first night of my 7 nights, because it's like only going to get better as it goes along. Cause like, you know, you got to get used to the room and whatever, but yeah, you were there for that's the second time you've seen me where the crowd was kind of atrocious.
That's right. Cause the first time that lady was just being such a jerk.
I go, God. You can't talk. I hear you. And she goes, I'm not talking. And I'm like, you're talking. And she goes, oh, you mean I can't talk to other people? And then remember when her high heels, she got up on stage and walked across, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. But yeah, no, it's Vegas and it's the Cellar. It's fantastic, but it's so fun to just see how different. Could you tell the difference between like the comics when it was like the energy? Like, was I a tad more aggressive? Was I a tad more New York?
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't blame you because, you know, what you were working with was pretty, it wasn't that bad, but it wasn't good. You know what I mean? It was like, okay, this is not good. And you just had to like, I think you even told him, you kind of went on the attack mode. You were like, this is the New York part of the show.
I think I did.
This is the New York portion. Which was great, man. I was like, that was adorable.
Adorable. I loved it. It was adorable. Thank you so much. And I'm thinking you're there, and I'm like, shit. You know, like I really want you to have a great time. And that
we had a blast. Me and Christina and Sally were just laughing our heads off, man.
Yo,
but you did a great job.
And then we went out to Ping Pang Pong.
Ping Pang Pong. I was like, when the first time someone said it, I was like, I'm not touching that. That's
I'm not
racist
saying-
as hell, man. Like,
Too white
is
to
that the
say
real
that.
name? I wanted to ask, is that the real name, or are you guys saying something? It's like, they're not racist. That must be the real name. Shit.
Yeah, I was like, are you trying to trap me, man? I work on a hidden camera TV show. I'm like, I'm not saying ping pong pong, dude. I know that there's something. It's so funny. I was looking through my phone. Oteil, you found some very interesting things on the menu that I really am interested to know. One was the home sauce burst circulatory vessel.
That's right. I forgot about that.
What in God's name is the home sauce burst?
I tell you what, before the Sphere residency is over,
We gotta
I'm
have
going to
it.
order that. I have no intention of eating it or even trying the smallest bite. Unless I will leave. I'll leave a 1% chance that it comes out looking like, wow, that's a great presentation. And ooh, that sure does smell yummy. I mean, but otherwise, dude, it's burst. But it was, what was it called? Home sauce?
Home sauce.
Home sauce. That had me worried.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
The order of the words in that is
For a
bad.
deadhead. Home sauce. Yeah.
For a deadhead specifically. Yeah.
Like,
really.
who needs acid? Jesus. Home sauce burst circuit. What is the exact wording? Like, that's
It literally is home sauce burst with no hyphenation. There's no like, it's not like it was burst in home sauce. Like, we had a circulatory vessel and then we had home sauce and we put it in and it burst. It's not that. It's not even like past tense. It's just like home sauce burst circulatory vessel. So if it said burst circulatory special in home sauce,
yes.
I would be like, okay.
It's like, did you stick a beating heart in the home sauce, in boiling home sauce, and then it burst, and it's like, ta-da,
Ta-da.
here we go.
It's like when a
Right
hot
on
dog splits when you grill it too long.
So I'm like, burst circulatory vessel. So what vessels? I'm thinking heart, right?
Is it like the aorta of a...
Yeah.
But we don't even know what animal. Is it human? Is it...
See how many stories there are in this thing? It's like,
I know.
it's like a whole reality show could be based around this one menu item.
Ping, pang, pong, home sauce.
Ping, pang, pong. Like, jeez, wow. Okay.
What happens in Vegas to your circulatory vessel stays in Vegas.
Yeah, is
apparently.
that like somebody didn't, somebody lost?
Somebody
I
couldn't
don't
pay
even
their
want to
debt.
tell you. Yeah, some mafia stuff. Oh my goodness. Burst
They're like-
circulatory
They're like,
vessel.
we might have burst circulatory vessel back on the menu tomorrow if Tony doesn't pay up.
There's a line of guys hanging in the freezer. We got another order.
Yeah.
Cut him down.
We got a special tonight, burst circulatory, and then the
curious.
wok tossed chitlin.
Yes. Okay. So this I thought was really great because I didn't realize there was such a crossover between Chinese culture and like 1800s slave culture. Because I'm looking at American, obviously,
Yeah.
and I'm looking at we find chitlins, and then what was the other one we found?
Tripes and bean sprouts. Wok tossed chitlin with salted black bean and pickled mustard green.
Wok tossed chitlin. I was like, but they call it chitlin. Is that like the literal textbook name? Because I thought that was the name.
I think it might be.
black slaves came up with.
Chitlins?
Chitlins.
I always thought it was that.
Although it's spelled chitterlings.
That's
The actual word is spelled chitterling.
This is CHITLIN.
Yeah, that's how we say it.
Yeah.
Chitlins.
Chitterlings.
But what was the other one? There was another one that was like,
Well, I only took a picture of burst circulatory vessel, but there's like tripes and bean flame tossed sticky rice with sun dried scallops and sausage. That's not preserved duck yolk. That was another thing. Flame tossed Cantonese sausage with mountain yam and wood ear mushroom. Was that the one that was?
no, there was another one that's like, it'll come to me because
Yeah.
there's only a few things.
I just took
that,
a
like,
picture and
You won't. It's what they would give the slaves that was left over. So
Really?
yeah.
on the ping pang pong menu.
Chitlins, it's just intestines. It's pig intestines.
I had no
It's the
idea.
so you got to flush all the poop out of it. I don't know how they do that or if they.
Wait a minute. Is that home sauce?
Man, I'm telling you, because my mom made it one time because she was like, okay, it's like you got to have this experience with Black culture.
Sure.
So there was twice she did this. The beef tongue wasn't a Black thing, but it was just tongue. Actually, it might have been. I don't know. But the beef tongue smelled really good. Like in the oven, it smelled like she was cooking a ham.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, yeah, whatever I said about tongue, I'm on this. Forget that, dude. And then when she didn't slice it up into like little slices, so then when she sat it on the dinner table, it was just this really big tongue. And I was like, check, please.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. I don't care how good it smells.
You're like, I want a peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, I tapped out on that one. But the chitlins, when she made that, we came home when they had, it was like halfway done. And dude, the house stunk so bad. I couldn't be in the house. I was like, there is no way I'm eating that. I don't know how you're going to season that to even make that possible.
God.
But I'm out, like out of the house, out. Like I'm gone. Yeah, it was awful. So I don't know. Maybe I haven't had it. I never made it.
No.
It's like stinky cheese in Europe. Like I can't get it in my mouth.
Right. I'm with you 100%.
So bad.
Yeah. Dude, it's I'm a texture eater too. And I think that's why I have such a hard time with seafood. To be perfectly honest with you, is like if I can gum through a piece of meat, you know what I mean? Yeah. Or if it's too weird and tonguey, textury, like when you say beef tongue, yes, that's all I'm thinking is like, does it have the texture of an actual tongue?
Yeah. Like, oh no, it's not. And for chitlins, man, like a texture thing, ooh.
Yeah.
I can't eat oysters. So you're looking at it and you're just like, and burst circulatory vessel. I'm wondering what the aesthetic,
Jesus, man. That's the thing. Hey, you know what? You got to give them credit for not being wasteful. They're using every part of the animal, even the burst circulatory vessel.
It might be good. I'm not being a hater because I haven't tried either one.
Yeah.
Like Chinese chitlins might be all right. And burst circulatory vessel might be, who knows? I'm going to order it.
But I think we need to go back to ping pong pong.
Absolutely.
And I'm only trying.
They were really nice to us. And the food that we did order was fantastic. So I don't want to be just sitting up here hating on them because man, that food was good
and incredibly affordable.
Yeah, I mean, when we got the bill, we were like,
I think you made a mistake the wrong way. I'm like, I think you forgot to charge us for stuff. But it was a blast. We had a really good time and a good meal.
Yeah, thank you, Ping Pang Pong.
How have you been enjoying like your days off? Are you exercising? Are you keeping yourself like, hydrated? And you look great and spending time taking care of you.
I forgot I got a cough button. This is so cool.
Yeah, this is super
turn
pro,
away
dude.
At home. Yeah, I can just push this button. It's the bomb. But yeah, I've been trying to stay. I've been doing more weights. I have some exercises I was doing for my back that my back guy was like, only do these, like don't do other stuff until you get to a certain point. Then I got to that point, and now I'm trying to add in more stuff, because I'm not getting any younger, and so I'm doing more weights and stuff like that. We moved out of the hotel when the kids came, but Jess and the kids went back, so now I can get back in the gym and start doing. You looking great too. You look like you lost a lot of weight.
I did,
bro. How much are you down now?
I'm down 30 pounds, and I'm trying to lose another.
30?
Yeah, I'm down 30 pounds.
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah, and you want to know what's pretty great is that my cholesterol and all the numbers are like down to a point where I've had high cholesterol since I was 18.
Wow.
And my doctor said, listen, if you want to be the next circulatory vessel that pops, keep up what you're doing.
You want to be on the menu.
If you want to be Ping Pang Pong special. I went to my doctor, and for the first time since I was an adult, my doctor's like, way to go. You said you were going to do it, and you're doing it. And I'm doing it. And it's very easy once you get to the point of like getting into it and realizing, it's cutting portions in half. Immediately, if I go out to eat, I go box half of it. I ask them.
For sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's America. We think we're all Texas. I just, seriously, I go to New York and I order a sandwich and I order 4 extra pieces of bread because I know I'm going to make 2 more sandwiches with that when I get home.
Literally. Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
Geez.
You go to Cat's Deli, you're literally getting a deli's worth of meat. Like, it's insane. You could start your own deli.
You could go outside and sell it. But it's, isn't it? Look at us adulting. Wow.
I know.
It's great.
I feel pretty good about it. And it's, that the not eating after 8.
That's hard for me with these gigs.
Well, me too. And that's, I make an exception.
We're night workers.
Yeah, we're circus people.
So is it like you, like after a gig, I'll try to eat small before, because if I eat too much, I actually get sleepy on stage. My body uses too much energy trying to process it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, okay, you ate a little bit, the go to bed hungry thing.
Hungry.
But man, after a gig, my metabolism, it's just when you interacting with the audience.
Yep.
I'm ravenous after the gig. It's so hard. It's like, eat a banana, go to bed. Eat a banana, go to bed. And I've been failing when the kids got here. Is it the same for you?
Yes, 100%. And the thing is too, there's 2 things I love doing hungry. It's sex and comedy. I don't like having sex full, and I don't like being on stage
I didn't
full.
think about that, but that's really true.
Right? It's the 2 things where you got to be just kind of like, eat after,
Yeah.
But I am not going out and getting hammered. I'm not going out and doing drugs. I'm not chasing waitresses around or whatever. So I have this thing where it's like, I earned a bag of chocolate chip cookies, I earned it, and I worked hard, and I did my job, and I did my workout today and whatever. I'm going to go get a sleeve of Chips Ahoy and watch cartoons in bed.
Funyuns.
Funyuns are your Chips Ahoy? Really?
And if it's a little bag, because
2.
we have these little bags, and I need the 2 bags. If it's not that, I don't want the really big bag of fun, but the super little one.
Yeah.
For you Frito-Lay people that are not up on it, the different sizes.
But it's a thing too, where it's like, now I'll go shopping before, I'll hit like Whole Foods.
Yeah.
And I'll fill my room with, I've realized if I have stuff to grab and just mango, watermelon, snacks, then I'm okay, But if it's reckless abandon, I'm going wings. I'm going hardcore.
At our thing, that you get the menu, the after show menu, and you have like 10 bags of short ribs. They're just full dinners.
Anything you want.
Yeah. And we're ordering dinners for get one for the kids, and so it's just like there's all this food. And it smells great. And it's just piled up, in your room after the gig. It's like, great, just go to bed.
Just go to bed.
In the fridge and go to bed.
Yeah. But it is that thing of going man, I would sit and have beers, and I would sit and do this, and I'd smoke cigarettes, and so now I'm over 5 years no cigarettes, and that's huge.
Huge.
Especially here in Vegas, where literally you could smoke and drink anywhere you want. You know what I mean? And it's like, I walk around and I look at it and I'm like, there's so many temptations. There's so many vices, dude. Walking by. I am so glad I don't have the gambling gene.
Me too.
I mean, I walk by these machines, dude, and I don't even see them.
I'm looking for aliens and hybrids. I'm here for the alien detection. It's not even on my mind. And I'm so glad, because all those things that are one thing that we realize is happening now, I suspect, but this is conspiracy theory, but I think it's true. It's that they're designed for you to get lost in.
Here.
Yeah, because you can't. You get into a casino and you're like, damn, I thought I was. Where the hell am I? And I'm like, this is on purpose. For you to I thought it was this way, but ooh, look at that, ooh, shiny. So it's because we don't have the ooh shiny gene, all these different things set up to trigger us. We're really lucky, man, because we could go down hard.
We totally can.
Then there's all the other temptations that are just I'm just over it.
There's so many temptations, and it's that thing of so is it aging? Is it wisdom? Is it knowing that there's a consequence or another emotion?
It's all the above. I think I've been there, done that. Well, not the gambling, but all the other, I was a terrible human being when I was young.
Yeah, me
You
too.
know?
Me too.
So we did all the things. Fortunately, I wasn't into hard drugs. So I have a needle phobia, so that took care of that. I never liked blow. It never agreed with me, so I took care of that. But the alcohol, the womanizing, all the things. So it's just like, I've done it. I've spent all those years not being able to get a good night's sleep because my conscience did bother me over it. Thank God.
Yeah.
So you got the scars. There's not the temptation anymore because you've done it, and then you made it this far. You saw how many of your friends and maybe relatives that it actually killed.
Yes. Yep.
I have a good life now. Yeah. Me and my wife are great now. I've got 2 kids, so it's like I've had 2 lives.
Yeah.
And the second life is great. And I really don't want to screw it up.
You're right. No, it's so true. And
I'm going to be 60 in a couple months, it's like.
No, but and you feel younger than ever, I bet, because it's this thing of kind of like, the first leg, you say a lot, you pay the tab up front, and I said that last night to someone I was talking to, that they had 2 lives, right? This guy I was talking to I was eating, and he grew up in New Orleans and moved around with his family, ended up in Portland, Oregon, started a pallet business, and then like Big Pallet, bought his company for millions and millions, and I don't know what it would be. Yeah,
cashed out. Yeah.
Yeah. And now he's got a second life where he's like married, has kids, has she's Vietnamese. So he went and built a house for her in Vietnam. So he can, and he's like so thrilled and so happy. And he's telling me, young blood, keep it up. You're great. Everything's going to be great. I could see it in you. And it's like, it's just this fun thing of kind of like, I think the wanting is better than the getting now.
Absolutely.
And that to me is that's become my mantra lately, is just like,
I remember when you watched Star Trek back in the day. Remember when Spock, the Pon farr? So Vulcans are completely emotionless except for this one marriage ritual that they do.
Oh, okay.
And it happens one time in their life, and it comes upon them, if my memory serves, like they can't help it. Like Spock starts going into this fever and all of a sudden starts acting crazy. And they're like, Spock, what the hell is wrong with you, dude? And he has to go, hey, man, the Pon farr's coming on, and I got to fight this dude to the death.
Wow.
So they go into just complete emotion, to the death emotion.
Oh, wow.
And this dude challenges him because he has this woman he's betrothed to, and he's supposed to marry her, but he split and went off to be on the Enterprise. And she's like, dude, I want a husband. I want kids, So he just it comes over him, and then he has to fight to the death and go this. It was really interesting, to watch that whole. I forgot what my point even was about it, but
the wanting is better than the getting.
Oh, but he says to her after, thank you, because after it's all over, I guess he concedes or something, so the guy doesn't have to kill him, and then they talk afterwards. And then he says to her, her name is Dupring. I remember. She's so beautiful, man. I was like, I would leave the Enterprise for that. Dupring was bad. And he said, Dupring, the idea of us wanting each other and stuff is sweeter than the actual having of it. And when I saw that, I was like, man, he's really right about that. When you go and you do these things and you feel so bad about it, I was like, yeah, it looks good on paper. She looked really great.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, you don't feel it. So it's such a true thing. And it's something that I'm going to make sure that I tell my kids about everything.
Yep.
It's like whatever it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be just
it's so
sex,
it's so great to have that. You have that wisdom at the point you're at in fatherhood too, because
good thing I had them late.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So did you have them late? Really? You didn't.
No, I had them on time.
Exactly. You didn't have them early. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing.
Yeah, I didn't have them too early.
Yeah. I grew up with my parents. You know what I mean?
And have you seen that meme where it says a lot of people, the thing you don't realize is when you're a kid, which is not the case with me because I started at 50. But for most people, if people are having kids in their 20s, which they normally do, like the thing you don't realize that your parents are also kids.
Yeah. And my parents were in their teens.
Yeah.
So they were babies, dude.
So you got to give them a pass. And fortunately, it's never too late to have a happy childhood.
Yeah.
So you can, like,
I think
we're talking
I'm finally
about
starting to
over.
understand that, because it is a thing where it's like, now my childhood is mine.
We're doing
it's
it
mine.
now.
Yeah. I'm doing it now. Exactly. I'm just doing it bald and with a gray beard.
Hey, but we're smarter. If we knew what we knew now as kids, we would have had way more fun. So that's the other part.
True.
We just don't have the energy.
No, you're right. And sleep's more important to me than fun. I was actually talking about it with my Uber driver here about how, because she said she lived here for 20 some odd years. And I'm like, she said, I'm 43. And I'm like, I'm 44. I go, how do you like living in Vegas in your 40s? And she's like, frankly, I don't even see, just like how we were saying, we don't see the machines. She's like, I don't see the party. I don't see she's like, I'll go to a happy hour at my local. She lives like, out in Henderson or whatever. But she was saying it's just like anywhere else. You don't see things that you used to. Like, I drive by a bar in New York on my way to do sets, and it's -10 degrees, and there's a line out the door of mini skirts, and they're shivering, waiting to get into a bar. And it's like, what is wrong with you? But I was in that line. Like, I did that. So it's that thing of looking back. And it's interesting too. I got a ride here. I got a ride to the airport in New York from an Uber driver that was in his 20s, early 20s, right? I've been dying to talk to you about this. And he's, gets his news from podcasts, gets his news from YouTube, gets his news from, doesn't believe in either side politically, but is right-leaning as a 22-year-old or whatever, which I think that is a trend lately with kids, because I think I was super liberal, but I think it's always the tide goes in and out, right?
Yeah.
He's extremely into Catholicism and all of this, but also he sounded to me like an older man, but he said, if you had any advice for anyone, if you had advice for younger you, what would it be? And I was like, damn, when is this traffic going to let up? Because this kid's really hitting me with some hard ones. But you know what I said? I wish someone told me it was okay to be patient. I wish somebody told me it was okay to wait.
Yeah.
No one gave me that thought that I thought I had to have it all figured out right now or I'm dead.
Well, they tell us that, and it's so ridiculous. Like, how would I have known at 17 years old that I wanted to major in theology? I wasn't even there yet. Like, that's why half of marriages end in divorce, because I think when you get married in your 20s, you don't know how to pick a mate yet.
No, and that's the person forever. You change.
Yeah, you're stuck for like 60 years, and they're like, dude, I can't take any more than 20. I'm sorry. I'm a different person now. Now, for women, it's different. That's why if my daughter ever wants to marry a guy that's way older than her, I'm going to be cool with it, because I'm like, he got all this bullshit out of the way.
Yep.
Right? Yep. He knows himself better.
Grounded.
Like, yeah. If some young guy is going to have super electron microscope scrutiny on him. I mean, they all will.
Yeah.
But that will be a much harsher.
Yeah.
I got more to worry about,
Totally.
And I just had that exact talk with my nephew.
Oh, yeah?
Because he's doing, shout out to Khalil Burbridge in Atlanta. He's doing so much better than I was at his age. But he's kind of frustrated right now. And I was like, and both me and his mom, my younger sister, Adero, we were like, good. Because it's that frustration that pushes you towards the thing that's really going to make you happy.
Yeah.
So that you won't have the midlife crisis.
Mm-hmm.
It's that crappy job that I had that made me want, no. I don't care what. Like, look, I'll be poor. I'm going to be happy, though. I'm going to have to play music. And I said to him, you have to point yourself towards that joy, which for him is the theater community. And I said, no matter, you don't have to have it all figured out or have it done yet. Yeah. You just have to be going in that direction towards your joy. Some steps will be bigger. Some, there's ebb and flow.
Right.
But like you say, you don't have to have all this. It's okay to wait. In fact, that's the only way it comes.
It's the only way it comes.
You're cultivating a garden.
And I can't tell you. Yes, you're right. Exactly. And that soil needs to get to know the roots, and the roots need to know. Yeah, and it's all that. And if
the gardens don't come overnight.
No, and if you're screaming at the tomatoes to grow, dude, they're not going to grow. Who
does that, right? Who does? But they don't tell us that's what we're doing.
Exactly.
That we're screaming at the tomatoes.
I know. And I'm just sitting here going like, this garden is shit, and I'm done. I got to go find a new garden or new vegetables to grow. As a kid,
yeah. And I was a kid till I was 40.
Totally.
So all my 30s, I was still a kid.
So I'm a 4-year-old essentially.
Mentally, yeah. It's spiritually and emotionally, but maybe still emotionally, but. I'm getting better.
It is this thing. I kind of feel like a lot of us, though, are going through this second childhood because I feel like we're also we're in penalty time. We're in overtime right now. Yeah. We've talked about that, how it's like, a soccer game ends and it's like now we're in stoppage time where it's like, we all know it. We know that like as a culture, it's.
Yeah, you can look at it micro and macro. Like I think like the whole born again thing, I don't think it happens just once. It happens a number of times depending on how old you get because it's like a snake doesn't shed its skin just once.
Right.
It's periodic. When your Saturn return comes and you're 30 and all of a sudden everything just goes to. It happens again when you're 60. I'm in my second Saturn now.
Oh, yeah, huh?
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
The only reason it's not as bad as my first Saturn is because I got another 30 years. I made it another 30 years. And I'm like, oh, I see what's happening.
You've done it already.
I've done it already. And so like, well, here's how you can make it. Here's how you made that last one extra hard. Don't do this. Mm-hmm. And this Saturn's going to be easier.
Wow.
Because what it does is it makes you deal with stuff that you don't want to deal with. It puts it right in your face, and Saturn doesn't leave for a long time, so it just hangs over you like a black friggin' cloud until you friggin' deal with it.
And you're like, get used to this. It's happening.
This could be easier. It could be hard.
Yeah.
It could be easier. So I'm just like, I'm doing it better this time, but it helps me to recognize like you have to do this periodically. It's nature.
Yeah.
It's nature. It's not just a one-time thing. You grow, you change, you grow some more, you change some more, you grow some more. You get these kind of multiple crossroads points, multiple growth points.
Yep.
And so I think that's why we're both so much happier now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's true. And you know what I think too? It's that thing of like you leave guideposts for yourself for the next time around. So when you get to it, you can go, who was I then? Right? Yeah. Like who was I the first time I came through this lap? You know what I mean? And it's like, even as a micro, I'm out here for, 10 days. I remember being out here for a week or so before, and I was crawling at the walls and I was anxious and I'm like, I got to get out of here. I got to do this. Now I'm just like, it's cool. Like, it's okay. Like, I'm alive. I'm doing it. Like, there's good things. I'm making the crowd laugh. I'm getting along with the other comics. Like there's things that I appreciate that you didn't even see before.
Yeah, we were too zoomed in
and
to
what
realize
we were supposed to do.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And a lot of it, man, is transforming loneliness into solitude.
Yes.
It's literally alchemy. And it's like, it gets easier now because when I broke, when we were doing that pandemic traveling and we had to be apart and I couldn't see my kids and Jess for like, man, it was a really long time. I tried to keep it to 2.5 weeks. I think it was a couple of months.
Yeah.
And I just broke.
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
Then I thought, okay, well, look, you found your breaking point. I was crying in my oatmeal on the bus, and that was the same day that I found out we were staying in the same hotel as the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
And so that dichotomy just hit me. It was like, look at you. It's supposed to be so whatever on the outside, and you're crying in your oatmeal staying at this fancy hotel with the Rolling Stones. What's wrong with you? And then this voice said to me, hey, man, plenty of people did too much heroin from the same feeling and OD'd and died.
Yep.
And they were more famous than you and had more money than you. And, so give yourself a break.
You're killing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're killing it.
You're killing it by crying in your oatmeal.
Yep.
And not going out to do this other stuff to try to ease the pain.
If only they knew they had the option to cry in their oatmeal instead of chase a dragon or, smoke off a piece of tinfoil or whatever the hell it would be.
Whatever it's going to be that,
Yeah.
is eventually going to kill you.
And when you have that other option, it's kind of like all the other options go away. It's that love and fear thing where it's like, oh, you look at it and it's like, why did I choose that bumpy ass road when there's this?
It was fear.
Yeah.
And now you go, well, I know that ain't going to work.
Right. Right. That's for someone else.
So what are we going to do now? Well, if it's eat a banana and go to bed, or, if it's, you got books, you're in air conditioning, you're not out in working. I mean, imagine being a road worker with a jackhammer in Vegas and it's friggin' 100. I guess they do all their work at night.
Oteil.
There's so many things. Life's great.
Out of my hotel room window, I'm watching guys paint the roof of another building right now. I'm not kidding. They're up on the roof of a building with rollers painting the roof. And I'm like, it's gotta be sitting here in my room working on the TV show. And I'm like,
yeah, wham.
Yeah, my shit's pretty okay, man.
But it's hard to see that if you don't make it long enough in your life, to look back and to have the power to zoom out and look macro.
Yeah.
It just, the youth and fear just kind of go together.
I know. It really, youth is, unless you have someone guiding you and saying, don't be scared.
That you listen to. Because I didn't listen.
I know.
I had that.
I didn't. They were like, be scared, hurry up. But it's okay.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's all about everyone's growing together. But I think it's important to have that ability to like share that message. So,
which is why we do this podcast.
That's
really.
it.
I mean, we could just talk about music and comedy and stuff. But look, folks, this stuff is hard. This is why no matter who we have on, if it's a wrestler or a UFO guy or a musician
or
it comes right back to this because it's how do you deal with your life? How do you deal with, it's crazy being human. This long, strange trip thing is no joke. This is nuts being a human.
It really is. It's and especially in a time when it's like impossible to like avoid. I mean, it's all coming at us at like lightning speed. And the clicks so we had a conversation the other day about the algorithm, right? And how like literally you were supposed to hashtag things before, right? And now you're not supposed to hashtag things. And none of us were told this, but so we're all trying to get the clicks, to get the likes, to get the followers, to get the gigs, to get the booking, to get the opportunities. This is comedy. It's like we're chasing, it's the Ouroboros. It's the snake chasing its tail, right? But the tail keeps changing direction and it's going through this whole thing. And it's like, remember when it was just to be funny? Remember when it was just to, and these things keep changing. So you have to adapt and react. And if you take it too seriously, you end up going completely bonkers and you just got to keep your eyes. So the reason why I bring this up is I've been thinking a lot about like, what's my definition of making it or success now? And does it matter if it's yours? Does it matter if it's anybody else's? It doesn't, because I'm the one that's got to live in it, right?
Yes, your happiness. If that's how I gauge it, am I smiling?
Right.
Because if I have millions of dollars in fame, I know plenty of those people that commit suicide.
Yep.
That's not success. Suicide's not success, folks. If I'm happy, then apparently I'm successful.
Right.
I still have goals that I haven't hit yet.
Yep.
But the way I define it is differently.
Yeah.
It's different now. So I know you're doing that, because it's again like the 6 months thing.
Yeah. We have 6 months to live.
We got to get happy right now.
That's it.
If you can get happy right now on that, and that's probably the most important level.
Yep.
Because there's different categories. Definitely financial success is one category.
Yeah.
But if you're smiling, there's like 8 categories that you just won.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's true. If you can wake up and look yourself in the mirror and not hate that guy, that's more than you can't buy that.
And if you're excited about what you're going to go do for your work, quote unquote,
right.
That's winning.
Yep.
Right.
Oh my God. Cause everybody's not the whole, you
so much
get a job. I remember I had a job and the guy, I was at a school and a guy came in and knocked on the door and he goes, 180 days till summer vacation. And it was like, you're not going to do this the next 179 days, are you, dude? Like this is,
oh yeah.
But it's just that misery shit. But I've been thinking a lot about, and I shout out to the great Tom Papa. We had him on the podcast. We had a chat the other day. He was kind enough to invite me to do a theater gig with him. And we talked afterwards and he was really kind. And he's like, you're getting to that point where you're undeniably funny. He's like, you're doing really well. And he goes, I know it's hard. I know the industry is, the worst sometimes, but you just need to keep your eye on what your definition of the career you want, the life you want, and all that. And I said to, I go, I look at yours, Tom. And that's, a show here on Sirius XM, a podcast, doing theaters, writing books.
Yeah.
He's involved in his kids' lives. He's got a great relationship with his wife. He does stuff on NPR. He does stuff with musicians. He's going to concerts. He's baking bread. And he's like literally to the point of like got his hands in the dough,
Yeah.
And I thought about that. And I'm like, I think about my wife and I think about, her dedication to us.
Yeah.
And, kind of, it's hard to be with someone who's following their dream when it's a grind, you know? And I mean, shout out to your wife, my wife, like the people who, and that whole thing. And then it's like my definition of success at this moment right now today is to just be able to return the favor. I just want to be able to give her the next round is on me. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like, you've done, I got it. I got it. From
I
here.
got it now.
I got it from here.
I love it. And my mom used to always talk to me, man, when I was really poor and I was so young, I was like 24 and career wise, it just hit the skids, and she was like, well, you're very rich in time. And I just didn't want to hear it then. But now that's big time. One of my definitions of my success, a big category is that I'm not under some corporate thumb.
Yeah.
And I can be more in control of my time so that I can give it to my wife and kids.
Yeah.
At a time when they really want it.
Yep.
When they're young, I can go back to like being on the road all the time. And I'm sure Jess, when the kids grow up, she's going to like disappear to Africa and Bhutan and just like the farthest flung, most hardest conditions to live in because there's orangutans there or something, But it's like, go for it.
And that's
honey.
her next round.
She did. And we kind of went through that because the first year we were married, she moved to Africa for a year to work with mountain gorillas.
Dude.
I was so depressed. So I paid some of that tab up front.
Yep.
But now she's being like, when I leave and she's raising the kids by herself, it's hard, but we have more. We're not under a corporate thumb. We have more control of our time. Freedom is a big thing. I mean, most people do not feel free. I do feel free.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's,
I could leave Denton Company. I'm a free man. You know what I mean? Like, I'm totally free to do whatever the hell I want.
You're doing what you love and what you choose to do.
I don't want to leave Denton Company, but I'm just saying, like, just big picture.
Of
macro,
course, you can if you
can do whatever I want. I'm a free man.
Yep.
And I'm not, now there's a risk with that also.
Yep.
But I know I can go out and provide for myself and my kids as long as I have my health, which is what we should also put on this list of categories of success, which is just a blessing, really.
Yeah.
If you have your health, hey, man,
that's it.
Try not having it, then you'll know.
Yeah.
And having your time, having doing what you love, it's not like what they said.
No,
it's all of it is like go to college, get this degree, do it soon too, get married, have those kids, make partner, and then end up miserable. Like
take out the loans.
How many people do you see that are
yeah.
looking at the partners like, so at the end of all this, I get to be that guy?
No, exactly.
And then they bounce, they change. My sister did it.
Yep. No, I know.
In her 50s, she was like, no.
Yep.
And what a risk.
I tell you,
to take that late.
Absolutely. Oh, of course. I know. I remember she did it, and it was the pandemic that kind of like was the straw that broke.
She was working for Duke Energy, and then she was like, I've always been a psychic. I've always been psychic. I wonder if I could make money doing it. And she left, and now she has more clients. She cannot deal with all the clients that she has. She has too much work. And I said, shout out to Leilani Burbridge. Leilani Bush, I was like, you were just working for the wrong energy company.
That's great. I love that. That is so funny. You work with the wrong energy company. Yeah.
It's all spirit energy. And man, she's working
her
butt off.
God.
Yeah, it's wearing her out. She's like, I got to peel off some of these clients. I was like, she's training other. I was like, hey, man, I'm so just proud of her. And she was doing well. I mean, they kept calling her.
Come back.
Like, oh, woman, because just like everybody else, when you leave, it's like, oh, so you could have paid me more the whole time?
Yep.
Now I'm pissed.
Once you say no, it's like, that's that power of saying no, right? And that's another thing in the happiness column.
It was hard for her because they kept coming back. Well, what if we do this? Well, what if, what if you do work from home? Well, what if you... And I was like, the devil is a liar. Come on, man. Don't do it. That's when it's like, it's time to go on your own, man.
Yeah, it really
do
is.
it. And she did it. So
I find too that it's like when you're growing up and you decide to take like a leap of faith, like, I was in the corporate world doing sales and I was killing it. I was doing fantastic.
Wow.
And I left to do stand-up. And
they thought you were crazy.
They literally were like, wait, what? What are you doing? And I did it. And the thing was, I looked at my friends, and even some of my friends were kind of like, are you, like, nobody told me don't do it. They supported me from the start, but I'm the one without kids. I'm the one traveling. I'm the kind of circus freak out of the group. You know what I mean? But I'm also the most fun. And, now it's paying off, and it's just this thing of like, finally, I took my time. Finally, I did it on my clock.
Is that on my terms?
I didn't have to worry about, that whole comics always say that like the number one advice is keep your eyes on your own paper. Don't worry about what the deals other people are getting. Don't worry about the deals.
Comparison destroys contentment.
That's it. And it's that thing of like, well, how come this person got booked for that? Why didn't I get that opportunity, right? And you think about that even with life.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get you anywhere but into a cycle of blaming others, comparing yourself to others, and it's all just, that's not the weight we should be carrying.
We should be happy for them because we're like, look, their ship came in. That means mine could come in. It's happened with my ex-wife's parents. I was well into my career, and it was not going well financially. I was with the aquarium rescue unit. They were like, the what? I was like, never mind.
Never mind, yeah.
Colonel Bruce Hampson, never mind. They were like, well, what are you going to do if this doesn't work out? I was like, well, there is no other option.
So it's going to work out.
All my eggs are in this basket, and I chose it because if it doesn't work out, I'll still be happy. If it doesn't work out in that category,
right,
financially.
Right.
I said, but let me tell you this. My friends have become very big all of a sudden. Certain ones, not all of them.
Yeah.
But Dave Matthews Band opened for the ARU.
Right.
We were playing with Fish. They were not famous at the time.
Right.
Widespread Panic, Blues Traveler, those, and Spin Doctors. We were going out on the Horde
Tour. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I said, I have watched my friends go from where I am to being very, very wealthy.
Yeah.
And I know that it can happen for me. I just don't know when.
Right.
But I know if I stop, for sure it won't.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I had critical acclaim. Like in the business, musicians were like, oh, Oteil's great. That was not putting any food on my table. Right. And then obviously I got the Allman Brothers gig, which if you're living in Birmingham, Alabama, which I did for 18 years, and now you play with the Allman Brothers Band. Oh, well, everything was real peachy after that.
There
right?
was food on your table.
Oh,
yeah.
It's like, you play with Greg Allman? I was like, and Dickie Betts, and Butch Trucks and Shane.
And J-Mo.
So, so I was just like, and that's kind of what I was telling my nephew. We lived in this neighborhood. It was like all the artists, freaks, all the gay people lived there. It was like the Island of Misfit Toys neighborhood in Birmingham, Alabama. And our neighbors were these two gay guys, and they had this beautiful garden. And I remember my ex-wife going, man, you guys' garden is unreal. Like, how? Like, I can't get. And Alan goes, well, it's only 25 years. And that taught me thank you, Alan. It taught me something so crucial. It's like, yeah, my career looks the way it is now because this is how my garden looks friggin' 40 years later.
Yeah. 40-year garden. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been
Those
working
plants
on
germinate.
this. Yeah. I've been working on this thing a long time.
That's it, man. It's
this
true.
was not overnight. And people that do get it overnight, a lot of times they lose it real quick because they got it too quick and didn't really value it.
You're right. No, it's true.
When you get it later, like you and me, you do value it.
Yep. And unfortunately, sometimes they're not here anymore to till that garden. You know what I mean? And then it's left unattended, and it's all weeds. You know?
The gardens turn to weeds real quick.
And those are the cautionary tales that you look at that garden and you go, I'm never going to let mine look that way. You know what I mean?
I've been working too hard on this garden.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I've been through all kinds of storms.
Yep.
This one died. I had to just replant, or like take cuttings or whatever. Jess had this plant. This is so cool. This is a story about patience. Jess had these plants that she kept with her from when she went off to college. So we moved like 4 times and had to take all these friggin' plants. I was so mad about it, but she had this one plant that she had taken a cutting from her mother's plant when I think she was about to go to college. And she had it for 20 some years, and we moved, she moved from Raleigh to Birmingham to Atlanta, and then we moved to Boca.
Okay.
We were in Boca for like 5-6 years. And one day I hear Jess just start screaming, oh my God, I can't believe this. Oh crap. Oh, what? Come look at this. And I'm immediately go panic. I'm like, oh, one of the kids is bleeding. We got to go to the emergency room. And I walk out, and this plant had bloomed. It had never bloomed. It needed a tropical environment. She took this thing from house to house to house, decades.
Damn.
And finally, this thing bloomed. And I thought, well, now that is some commitment and some patience.
Yep.
And, that really taught me a lot.
That plant doesn't know what the clock says. That plant doesn't know. It works on its own time. It works on its own, not the earth clock. It works on its own,
You put me in a tropical environment and give me about 5 years. Here we go.
Yeah. It's so funny you say that because Lisa, the same way. My wife, she's got plants from her mom. She's got plants from like trees in our house that have been with her forever, right? And then I go by this bonsai store that was going out of business in the White Plains Mall. This guy calls me in. He goes, come here. Name your price. Everything must go.
Gotta
right?
go.
So there was a 21-year-old bonsai tree that was like it looked like a dragon. It was beautiful. A 14-year-old and a 10-year-old. And I bought all of them. I killed the 21-year-old and the 14-year-old within about 2 weeks, dude. Over watering. I smothered them. I smothered them, right? So then I gave the other one to Lisa, and I go, save this one. It's my last baby. You gotta. And I'll tell you, that thing is gorgeous, and it's growing and blooming, and it's massive. And I've watched her just like, I would take water. If it wasn't wet to the touch, I would dump a pint glass of water. I didn't know how to love. You know what I mean? I was just I got
too much. You smothered it.
I was scared of neglecting this poor plant, and I killed it. It was like Chris Farley when he's like, "Oh, I killed my sale," And but through her, I watched her just like, all you got to do is just soak the bottom a little bit. All you got to do is just keep it a little moist, and that thing is like blossoming. But it is funny that it's the thing that's been keeping me in those moments where like you had like the career's not going so great and all that. it's my peers,
Yes.
the people that I look at as heroes that tell me you're hilarious. You're
Yeah.
doing the right thing. I've been where you are.
Yeah.
And you're fine.
Just keep doing it.
Keep doing it. Yeah. And that's the
Keep
thing. Keep doing it. And it's them going like, and then a year goes by, 2 years go by, 3 years go by. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm out of that and into the next ring.
Yeah.
You know, and it's this thing of just kind of like collecting experiences and all of that. And they're my guideposts where they go, no, you're fine. You're totally fine. You're in the mix. So
If we could look at ourselves as tree rings,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, really, that's
Those
where it
trees-
all is.
Those trees been through it. There's no way they haven't been through it.
The wind and the rain and
Everything,
watching others fall down too, huh? Think about that.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's why I think all these spiritual traditions, you know, there's so many nature metaphors in it because nature really is our teacher.
That's it.
You know, if no matter how technological this thing gets, you know, it's still subject to the same laws.
They asked
they
asked Trey Anastasio about AI the other day, and he goes, "I'm not kidding." He goes, "Let's see AI sell out Madison Square Garden."
Yeah,
you know, it's still the people experience. You know what I mean?
Well, it is
And
because it's
like,
our feelings. You know, I'm sure that the songs that Trey wrote after bottoming out
Yep.
and hit, you know, just his whole life, just lucky to be alive.
Yep.
There's no way those songs are the same as the, you know, 22-year-old
No.
Trey.
No.
There's just no way. So if you make it this long, you know, you get all those rings. You get to be that redwood tree that, you know.
And you know what? We're not the 22-year-olds listening to those songs anymore. We've grown with him, and we've had addiction, and we've had loss, and we've had growth, and we've had this and that. So it's so nice to be able to the maturation of the audience and the artist.
Yeah,
that's fun.
It is, man. When I ran into Trey at the hotel in LA, I was like, wow, this being old thing is really great. There's a part of it that's great because there was so much we could talk about that went back to like 89. You know, you think, God, how did that much time pass that fast?
Mm.
But the fact that we were both literally the happiest we've ever been
says something about.
There was so much unspoken stuff even, you know, that just, and I thought, man, this is really golden. Like, I really am glad that I made it. So people really like find out. A lot of people don't even know what I ask people, like, if you have $40 million and you didn't have to do nothing, what would you do? And they go, well, I'd travel. I'd be okay. After you've seen the whole world 7 times, what are you going to do then?
What are you gonna do?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Not now, if traveling is your thing, and you're like, I literally want to travel until I die. Great.
Yeah.
That's somebody's wired that way. But, you know, and I realize how many people don't even have any idea. Like, think about it, folks. And then maybe you might want to start thinking about that 6 months thing because you don't really know how much time you have to live.
Yep.
Even if you don't like just chuck everything and maybe point yourself in that direction.
Yeah.
Do a little bit more of it.
Yep.
You know, because
step outside your comfort zone and see. And it's so funny you bring that up because that's when I knew I had to quit the corporate job. They had a trainer come in and go, if we gave you tomorrow off and you had nothing to do, what would your day be? Like, what would you do? And I had no idea. And I go, I got to quit this job. Go find out. Like, literally, dude. Heavy. I was like,
that's heavy.
Yeah, because I had no idea. I literally didn't have any idea. And I'm like, there's no concerts to go see. There's no, and I'm like, shit, I got to leave this gig and go figure out who I am.
What it is.
Yeah,
exactly.
The best training that company ever gave me, dude.
See, and this is how things just come to you because we were lucky in my family to have parents that asked us that early on.
Oh, yeah. What
turns you on? You might want to do something that turns you on for work because it's going to take up a lot of your life. And then the other thing I would leave with people, and this is what I told my nephew, it feels scary to jump off of this thing that feels secure. But the one thing I've learned by getting to 59, it's my favorite quote. I forget who even said it, but a false sense of security is the only kind you really have.
Yeah.
Because if you don't take those, you could get cancer, and now you're playing it safe, and now you're going to die of cancer.
Right.
And you didn't do what made you happy, or at least get on that road. So you really don't have any security.
No.
Believe me.
Right. Right. Because when life looks like Easy Street, there is danger at your door. All right. That wraps, I think. We hit that right on the nose. Dude, we came in here not having a clue what to talk about, and we nailed it. And apparently they can hear it out there because you are... Oh, shit.
Now that's a deadhead because she stayed here for like 30 minutes.
She was twirling during the story. So she was actually... No, just kidding. I'm so glad you can hear this. I'm hoping we didn't say anything horrible. But
glad I stopped cussing halfway through.
We'd like to thank the Grateful Dead channel, Sirius XM channel 23, and the Win, and everyone who's listening. And it's Comes the Time podcast. You can get it wherever you listen to podcasts. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Go see Mike at the Comedy Cellar.
Go see Oteil at the Sphere, and listen to us, and subscribe and rate and review and enjoy. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time.